just go around and make a tour, a Hogmark tour. But I start from outside. So can you let me see in the full screen now, or?
Yes. I will unspotlight myself. So welcome, Esbjörn. I can't get rid of my spotlight.
Oh yeah, there we are. Now I am at the Hogmarks. I would call it a little farm, a little old estate where farmers lived long time back. And I have been owning this since 1984. You can see the main building. It's a typical farmer's, I would say, quite wealthy farmer could afford to build this kind of house. There are two quite big 20-meter long outhouses. The one with its window, special window, we use as conference room, the upstairs is conference. I will go upstairs and show you. I have owned this for about more than 40 years now, and done an awful lot of renovation. So we step into the door. Upstairs. Homemade staircase. So we come to big ballroom where we used to have meetings. We can have different courses in dancing, playing, and seminars. And you see here the big picture on the wall is from Nyckelharpsstämman i Österbybruk. I think it's 2002. And we can see Hasse Gille is on the podium. He's leading group of fiddlers. Many of them still playing. They were very young here, but they are still playing. And we meet them every year at the Spelmansstämman in Österbybruk. And if you go around here, I have a very special ceiling construction with the beams is visible going all the way out through the sides of the house sticking out, so you can see them, they are sticking out. Whatever, and I use the big floor planks has been the sides here, and I have paint. This is one of my old paintings of me and my brother's violin. We got from my father when I was about 17 years old. And this is how my brother painted the same violins. This is a nice picture of a young Hasse Gille. And on the other side, I have a picture I made. It's a painting of myself jumping pool boat. I was in the Swedish team. You can see we had a competition between Finland and Norway. This was 1962. I'm jumping 4 meter, 10 centimeter there. The picture was in a magazine, in a sports magazine. Anyway, we can go the way here. I like to paint. I've done that all my life. So this is all oil paintings. It's good to have feeling for painting if you want to be an instrument maker. This is my brother. This is this kind of bird we have in Sweden playing. This time of the year they are very active. And my brother has done a lot of these paintings. I'm building nyckelharpas and he is making nature paintings. This is a cranes, dancing cranes. And this is also something, I'm not sure the name of these birds, but it's quite big birds fighting to have the female, the hens, and so on. And here you can see we have not only nyckelharpa in our family, we have also drums, and we have a bass guitar, electric guitar with the electric magnification, and so on. I will also show the next room here behind this door. Here we can have people staying overnight, and you can see the same kind of ceiling with the beams visible, and pictures on the walls. My brother painted these, the spring flowers. Very, very. Just at the moment, these are very, very much visible. Oh, it switched around. That was not good. Bring it back again. Something happened now. Oh yeah, okay. Try to get the picture. But anyway, I can go around. This is Björn Stoby, the bird, the phoenix, Fågel Phoenix. Björn Stoby, an artist and a fiddler from Hälsingland. And here is a bunch of hard cases to be sent somewhere outside Sweden. And yeah, and another. What happened? Oh, everything. I got lost now. I don't understand why.
Can you maybe hold the
What happened? It just vanished, everything.
Oh, we're still there, but it's on the side.
Yes, yes, but I say
Oh, is there a button
maybe
on the
I have
gimbal?
to look. It's a lot of buttons, but no.
Is
I
there
have
a
to log
button to make it
in.
go landscape?
Okay, now I come up again. Now, but I don't get the picture I'm filming.
Oh, okay. Uh, is there a turn the
What do you
camera
see?
around?
What do you see now?
I see a Spielman in a picture.
It's Hasse Gille.
I
But
see
I
Hasse
don't.
Gille.
It's Hasse Gille when he was young, and he's playing his very first made nyckelharpa. But I would like to see that picture myself. But now I have it. But I don't get it full screen. No. Huh. Anyway, that was this top floor of this old house. It's from between 1700 and 1800. So I think I will go down to the workshop in the other house. Am I on now?
You're on, but rotated. The other picture was better.
The other was better. But what happened? And now I lost the picture again. Totally. This is funny. I have to put down the gimbal.
Yes, that's good. That picture's good.
There, I have the picture again.
Yeah.
Gimbal. And switch the gimbal on. It's now it is on. Yeah, now it's stable. Now I'm back, or
Yes.
so I go out of the staircase. Excuse for the noise, squeaking door. I'm now going to the workshop, the outdoor workshop, and it's not so far away. We have all these two outhouses has been restored, and you can see the garage here with sliding doors for two cars. And then there is some wood, chopped wood, to be used in the kitchen stove. Here you can see some wood that waiting for being cut up. I can also show you here we have logs for making this old kind of nyckelharpa, contrabass and silver bass. So these pieces of spruce logs was taken down 2 years ago, and they used to be stored outdoors a couple of years. Then I bring them in and let them dry, finalize the aging. This is a part of our land. You can see the Swedish fence, gärdsgård. This little house, 20 meter long, 2 floors. And on the top floor, I have a workshop for students. On the bottom floor, I have big machines to cut big planks and big logs. We step into the now, and you can see a lot of pre-cut pieces to be standard nyckelharpas and octave-harpas and whatever kind of nyckelharpas. It's in quite a good order. There you can see a number of tops and bottoms from Swedish wood. Underneath there are bottoms. And this it says BG, birch, and LÖ is Swedish maple. So it's different kinds of wood. And if I take a piece here, you can see this will be the neck of a nyckelharpa. It's pre-shaped, and the number is waiting for being shaped, finalized, shaped, and glued together with the sides and top and bottom. Down here we have with the keys. It's birch, very fine, straight thrown birch. And here is for the key boxes, made maple, very fine Swedish maple. And here another page of bottoms and tops. And here is a log of maple waiting to be cut to pieces for key box, for tangents, for screws, for pegs. Here I have a couple of spruce logs. Road instruments, and then they have a spruce log also. It has grown in the garden for about 30 years. So these are instrument wood waiting to be finalized in my workshop, which I have one in the house, in the big house, well, living house. I can show here there is a band machine. I would say it's semi-big. It's not the big ones. And then I have a cup machine here. And we have solar panels, and this is battery for solar panels. Sungrow. So I enter the part of the workshop where I have my big machines, which is needed to cut big planks and to cut logs. You can see behind there are logs standing, a number of logs all the way. This is a dust collector where I can connect the vacuum to 3 different machines. So this grinder with this, we call it disc grinder. You can see motorbike. It's a DKW 1 cubic centimeter. It came with a house. I never run it, but it was possible to run. The former owner had it. Anyway, this is bandsaw, Swedish made, Eika, and it says 500, which means that the distance here between the gap, I would say, is 500 millimeters, also vertical 500. And then I have a planer, a very nice machine to plane everything. And this little workshop for rough cutting, I call it for rough cutting workshop. So it's quite noisy and dusty, so I don't start any machine here. I go upstairs to look at the little workshop for students. In the afternoon, I go to the institute. Now I'm going to a quite much smaller little area for my students. If I have students wanting to stay with me for, say, number of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks, They can be on these workbenches here. It's a group of 4 workbenches, and I bring the machines needed just when it is needed. No, I don't have it installed. But I have the drilling machine here for starting to hollow out a log for an old nyckelharpa. This machine is really good too. And you see all the dust here is from we did an instrument just a while ago. And again, there are all semi-cut wood with very high quality, almost free from knots. Oh, not so much to say about that, but I have some pictures. You can show you Erik Sahlström, which I took 1984. He is working with the key books. You can see there his hands holding a knife there. And I was with him for 3 years. I moved from the city Ludvika, and I left the company ABB 1983 and stayed close to him. I stayed here outside Örbyhus, and I got 3 intensive years together with this man, and we played, and I visited his workshop regularly. And here is another picture. He's carving a key here with his knife, and you can see he's carving this oval holes that some keys has to have the tangents coming up from under, from the bottom rows and middle rows. And then of course I have also pictures of Hasse Gille, who was a friend of me from, I would say from the 1950s already, because my father and Hasse Gille built new houses just opposite each other on the same road. This is Hasse with his instrument, and in his workshop he had a very little tiny workshop. I can see this workshop is in a little house at the institute today, so I got permission to move his workbench and his tools and a lot of other things he used. And there you can see the house where he lived. He had the bottom and the top floor of this part of the house. I have the same kind of picture of Erik Sahlström. It's different picture from how he lived. This is outside his workshop. He's standing at the door, and there he's doing something with the keys, the key books, and the same here. And he had a little machine, and he didn't use so many machines. He used the knives and a little bit. So, and then I did a drawing here. It's a picture saying, how did Erik Sahlström change the nyckelharpa? And down here is silverbas harpa and nyckelharpa standard 3-row, the way he made it. Okay, and then here he's standing outside, standing inside the workshop again with 2 rather finished nyckelharpas, and you can see looks very messy here up in his shelves, but he had a good control of everything. We will open this door and see what is behind. And it's dark, but I have the light. And now we come to my storage of wood. And everywhere here is wood, not only for the nyckelharpas, but more or less for the nyckelharpas. Here is some spruce splitted logs. These logs will be bottoms and even tops for standard instruments and will be cut in my big machines. And then I have a stack here of planks. You can see the planks here, and end of that rather thick plank. It is from the west part of Sweden. It's from Värmland. It's a very high quality Swedish spruce. The thickness is 4 inch, and the length is 6 to 7 meter. And I bought a huge stack of these planks. I think I bought almost 100, 130 or something, 1999. So they have been here and they has been aged and matured, getting a very, very good sound in my instruments. To have good sound in an instrument made of spruce, it should be aged maybe at least 10 years. The resin in the wood harden and get a very, very long-lasting sound. And here are logs to be old instruments. And you can see it says Österby, small knots, Österby knots. And if it says KR, it's kvistren, it's not free. Not free logs is very difficult to get. But it doesn't matter so much if they don't are too big. And you can see there are logs sticking out at my staircase down there. You see the end of these big planks. And here is a quarter cut plank, also spruce. And I have maple. On top there is a maple, a very nice maple, which is a little bit flamed. Could be nice for tailpieces and for the keybox, the side of the keybox. And I cut with this electric Swedish chainsaw, Husqvarna. And there you can see parts of the sailing boats with pontoons. It's a part of finjolle, a fin. Oh, that's it. I take some old planks and put them for aging and take them when I need them. It's a little bit dusty here, the floor. You can see the floor here, and I can go into the next room and look at this wide. This is furu, what was it say? Pine. It's pine trees. They'll become red, a little bit red. Spruce in the floor stays more white, bright. On the walls here, there are spruce, wide spruce planks all the way around. And here, I done some nice colors and the greens. Also down at the floor. And this floor is made with a technique that it's not nailed to the base beams. It's just called a floating floor. And all the planks are glued side by side, pressed very hard with a special technique. And it has been for about 10 years now. It seems to be a very good way of making floors. And on the wall, what do we see on the wall? We have what I long time thought was Erik Sahlström's first chromatic 3-row nyckelharpa, but he made one, and this is made 1941, but he made one 1937, which is in my book. And this one is one of his very last, 1986. So I thought this was the first and the last chromatic nyckelharpa made by Erik Sahlström. And it's two very nice instruments, even if there is another one now that is older. And my brother, again, he's very good at these nature paintings. This is Cranes, 1993. And he is another of his very best picture of this bird, big bird. This is a big hen bird, wild in the Swedish forest. And here is two swans flying above the Dannemora Lake. Oh, it's nice. It can be in springtime before the trees start to be too green. The leaves is coming. So, and in this room, people who want to stay for some weeks or maybe just some nights, we have 2 beds here, and we can put in even more beds. So we can have people working together in this little workbench group. And a funny thing is that there is seats that can be folded out. Here, I used to sit on this and plane. And the whole set of workbenches can be adjusted in the height hydraulically, up and down, just turning around some handle. So this is the students' workshop. I've had not so many, but I have had a couple of students that really wanted to stay within nyckelharpa making. And I have taught them whatever I learned from Erik Sahlström, Hans Gill, and from other makers. I can show you that we use heat pumps to heat these buildings. One upstairs here and one downstairs. And the big house we went first has a big heat pump also. So heat pumps is a very low cost efficient heat system. Run down, and I will now leave this outdoor rough cut workshop. I can show you something more here. This is a very old dust collector. So this is connected to this bandsaw. And I have a grinding machine for grinding tops and bottoms. And I think I can start. And I have a TV there. It's there is a more modern dust collector, a very good one, connected to this machine. And I can show you for electric machine. Grinder here, Swedish Skåne, and a lot of other stuff. And then I have hand tools in this little cabinet. It's nothing special. Drill bits here and screwdrivers, hammers, saws, whatever. And then here I have storage of screws. Nothing special. Nails and screws and whatever. So I think we can have a quick look at my storage of books. I still have a number of my book, the Nyckelharpa, a unique Swedish cultural heritage. Looks like this. We will have a closer look when you come into the house. So I will tell you a little bit more about the book. And it's in Swedish, but I am forcing myself to translate it to English. But it takes some time. Anyway, I will show you some very special flower we have here in Uppland. It's more, you could say it's the national flower of Uppland. This is from Uppsala and a little bit north. You can see they are very, very nice. And they come in different colors. This one is a little bit brighter. And this is a little bit darker. See? And they also comes in white. I can't see any white open yet, but they will come. So we are in the best part of the spring in Sweden now. We have had quite cold some days, so it slowed down the spring a little bit, but it's coming again now. So now I will enter the home again. The glass veranda with glass windows. It's from 1905, and the door in the same kind of design, and the side windows. And then now I can go. I make a little tour here. I'm just coming around now into the kitchen. Är det någon här eller? No one here. No one there. Is our grand piano standing. And you can see here, this is a very nice painting of Hasse Gille, done by Paul Allman in Los Angeles. He was in the expo, he got very impressed by the nickel band by Hasse Gille, so he really loved the instrument and had to buy one to replace. And this is the first brochure we did. And we come into the big dining room. And we can have a look out, go through the outkeep. And there is a cellar. And the grass is growing now, so it's becoming greener and greener, which means that we have to start cutting pretty soon. Anyway, here I have the book. I have lined up some instruments. We will try to play and show you a little bit how the difference of the instrument can be. Here is another bunch of instruments. This is Erik Sahlström. This is a really old contrabass. And here is a silver bass made by the father of August Bolin, Johan Bolin, Erik Sahlström, 1983 or so, and so on. There is a little old pump organ we bought on an auction, and so on. There is August Bolin's nickelharpa is hanging there. It's nickelharpas everywhere. And there is a picture I used on the front page of the book. It's Henry Wallin, the brother of Ceylon Wallin. He made paintings. So this is a painting of me. He did sometimes in the beginning of 1980 or so. This is Erik Sahlström's instrument. The one to the left is from 1969, and the one to the right is 61. 61 and 69. And this is a funny instrument, funny nickelharpa, with instead of keys, there are buttons like the accordion buttons, and it's tuned like a violin. And Johan Hedin has played on it. So, and here you can see the necks, violin necks hanging. And we got it when we bought some wood down in Middenwald. And there are some problems with each of these. They have flaked out some wood or they have knots and whatever. But it's a nice decoration. Here is a painting of a famous nature painter, the son of Bruno Liljefors, Lindon Liljefors.
We lost your picture.
I lost my picture here.
Yeah.
I try to get back again. How do I do that? I have to lås upp telefonen. Yeah, now I'm back again. Is it back now? Hello?
Yes, we're back. We're back.
Oh,
Good. Yep.
I think I was here.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Here I have a number of children-sized instruments. This little, I call it symbolic nyckelharpa, piece of wood with painted keys. Esbjörn got this when he was just born. He was just a number of hours old. He got his first nyckelharpa. Then he got a little bit bigger one, like this. Then Torbjörn, when he was baptized, he got this one. I think it has a measure of 200, and this is 225. Really small, but they have a scale, so it's possible to play some simple thing. And here is my first violin I got when I was about 16, 17 years old from my father. And then we have a lot of other violins. And this is a bird that was flowing to the window and died, and I got it stuffed. So I go upstairs now to see the workshop, the indoor workshop. And there is a very special staircase. It's made S-curve, first to the left and then to the right. I have designed everything to fit into this old house. Well, now we come up to the top floor, and I can just go around here and show there are nyckelharpas everywhere. Here to the left is one made by Erik Sahlström. He made it specially for me, 1983. And Hasse Gilde made this contrabass. I think he made it 94. I bought it from him. And here is a very old contrabass that was damaged in the fire. You can see there is some problem with the top there. But it's a real old, could be 1700. I'm not sure. And on the other side, there is this Tord Johansson, this key box that is turned upside down. So the high notes lies on the bottom row. It's a 4-row violin tuned instrument. And then here is the other instruments. The one in the middle I made my first full-sized nyckelharpa, 1979. This is the funny instrument, and I forgot the name of it. It's from Vietnam. It's one string, and it's played with overnotes. And my brother's paintings again here. Very nice. And I did a lot of paintings myself. This is from 1966. I was 23. I painted the Smith Mill in Österbybruk, the old one from 1600 or something like that. Then I was in the Swedish mountain painting this little river, this creek, 91. And up here is my last made model airplane with a little engine, the diesel engine. It was flyed by by stand in the middle of a circle and line controlled. This is from the Swedish west coast, 1967. I was 24. This is also an old on the mansion, the house outside the mansion, at the side of the mansion. And another nyckelharpa here. I don't know what it is. And here is some nyckelharpa. And here is a nyckelharpa waiting to be finalized the repairment. I just changed the strings so far. And now we go into my workshop, where we can see what I'm currently doing. I have 6 instruments in a series, and I have just going to put the top on the number 4. I have 3. Didn't I have 3 with tops, or maybe only 2? So I have 2 already with tops and bottoms. So there is a lot more to do on this. And the same here, if we look at the shelves up here, there are bottoms and tops waiting to be finalized, shaped. And so when I also make the bows, I have bow sticks here, three pieces. And I make them by pressing a veneer. This piece I can get out maybe 7 or 8 bows from this piece. It's glued. The veneer is thickness about less than 1 millimeter. I have samples here. This is the kind of raw material for the bows. And I have a press fixturing and clamping and glue it so they will be very stable and got a good weight also. Yeah, and around here, this is a kitchen cabinets. I brought them here. It was old cabinets from there were 2 compartments in this house, one upstairs and one downstairs. This is downstairs. Drawers for the kitchen. I have a lot of other things. Bunch of bridges. Whatever. And I have this is filled to use in the key books. I have green, I have blue, and I have red. I like the blue very much. And then I have different kinds of drawings and sketches and so on everywhere. And I like to have pieces that inspire me to improve my handicraft. This is a violin made by a violin maker in Mittenwald, a very special violin with a bird's eyes maple in the bottom, on the sides and the necks also. And here we can see the templates I use. This is F-hole template, other templates. This is tailpiece templates. C-curve template. I don't use a template full size. I have just a part of the instrument, so I can make some change. I have been working very much with the shape, this shape of this, a little bit V-shaped, but the right, the roundness of the sides here. So I put an awful lot of thinking to get the right proportions. There is an old key box that came away. Someone wanted to have more keys, and I said I better make a new key box than destroy this one, so I can use it on another instrument instead. Yeah, and here is a stack of tops and bottoms up at the ceiling. And what is it more? That's yeah, it's an old instrument here where the top has been taken off. Should be glued together. Or sometimes I make, instead of making just one key box I have here, I made 12 key boxes. This is a side of plain maple. But this is the other part where the keys comes out to the key head side. I think I have about 8 boxes here. And here is one of my most fancy machine. It's made in Sweden 1950 something. It's a drill stand or machine. Anyway, it's very solid and very accurate, and no play. The play is 0, and it has a very high speed. It has a speed up to 5,600, which is quite high to be a drill machine like this. Normally they don't go higher than 3,000. And then I use dust collector. Here is dust collector that looks more like a mess, but anyway, it's very effective. And I have my tools here. I have knives in a row. And I have pictures inspiring me. There is a Swami knife, very nice one. And here I can read 55% relative moisture. And then you can go on here. I use Japanese saws. We have this little saw, and I have bigger ones here. And down here I have a set of chisels, gouges. Chisels are flat, gouges are curved, so you can hollow out. And I have those who are not meant to be knocked with a hammer, and then this kind is meant to be knocked with a hammer. And under here you can see there is some parts sticking out from a nyckelharpa I started to make a copy of Erik Sahlström's 1941, but I didn't come. I will finish these 2 instruments because I think they might have a good sound now when they have been aged. So I have had them there for about 20 years. And what do we see here? Oh, this is my nail shoes when I was pole vaulting. I managed to make 3 competitions representing Sweden as a junior. So I have these shoes. I think I can't use them anymore. They're too small now. And we have this grinding machine with a leather here to get the final chopping. And we have more here. This is how to steam, how to put the curves into a fixture to get them stable and stay curved. First we heat them up with water, with a little bit piece of water, and then Oh, nothing special with that. This is was aimed to be a silver boss harpa, but I never finished it. And then they have a Hasil, and he gave me this and told me that this you can use on your courses to show how I made my contrabass harpa. So sometimes I bring it with me. What to say more here? I think I go down now and say something about the book I wrote. I don't remember how much I talked about the book last year, but we printed some 2,500 books, and here it is. I can show a little bit of this book. It's how it is organized. First, it's the two very old instruments. One from 1700, it's a contrabass, and this is from 1800, and maybe the later part of 1800. We have those in the family. And then, of course, there is table of content, and you can immediately see that there are the green and the blue and the red part, the main parts. The main parts of the book is divided in 3 parts. Of course, there are some introductory parts, and also written by Dan Lundberg and Olof Johansson here. And then I wrote something I called the Nyckelharpa Encyclopedia, because it deals with almost everything about there is about the Nyckelharpa. Then I have the introduction, the main introduction part here. It says that the wood, the hand, the eye, the ear. That's a way to create an acoustic instrument. And this is the hand, it's often. This is a wood. This is the ear. And this is the eyes. Looking at an old instrument, making a new one. This part. And then comes the green part. The green part is one of the general description of the instrument, starting with a designation of the Nyckelharpa and its different parts. And of course, there is something about here. Here, the Nyckelharpa different parts in, I think it's 5 different languages. And every chapter has a summarize part, and every new chapter starts on the right side, page on the right side. And I start with the medieval instruments. And the medieval instruments can be seen in Swedish churches, stone church in Uppland and the north part of Sweden, or Uppland. But there are some other churches in Denmark and also in Italy, in Vienna, and so on. It's just a little short summary of these medieval instruments. And then comes the Swedish gammelharpan, the old nyckelharpa. And the very first mature old nyckelharpa is contrabass harpan. And here again, I have pictures of the contrabass and the silver bass. And one thing gammelharpa has in common is that they are made out of one lock. of more or less only spruce tree. And the tops can also be carved out from a log. And this goes on here with the full instruments. And the difference between silver bass and contrabass is described here, and it's more or less just the keys, the key box. See here, it's to the left is a contrabass, then it's something in between contrabass, and then comes silver bass, and then comes one of my instruments. Then there is a chapter about how did August Bolin, Erik Sahlström, and Hasse Gille change the nyckelharpa? What did they do? And they try to be quite detailed in this description. And I also talk about August Bolin's father, how he did. He made very nice instruments, but only silver bass harpa. And then this is a picture over 1937, Erik Sahlström nyckelharpa. And it has exactly the set of keys that we use more or less today. Maybe we have some off notes higher up, but so. And then there is a bit about Hasse Gille here. Speed up a little bit. Then we had a cadence project. The cadence was 3 schools with a European support, financial support. Interesting. I think it was around 2010, and it was a very, very nice project to be part of. This chapter is saying the nyckelharpa is the national instrument of Sweden on its way to UNESCO. Now, when I start to translate this book, I have to take away on its way and say it is on UNESCO. It's registered by UNESCO today. So this is how it should be to be done, what we have to do to get it registered. So that is a little bit history today. Anyway, then it's about the nyckelharpsstämma Österbybruk. Here we have the picture. Österbybruk. That's was person having an inauguration speech. And then this is Österbybruk, different pictures. It's a lot of pictures in this book. It's more than 1,700. I think it's 1,760 or something. Many of these people on these pictures doesn't live anymore, but they were active. Sture Sahlström, Hasse Gille, Gösta Sandström, Gotthard Bergqvist, Nisse Nordström. They all are, and Bosse Larsson, they have left. They are died. And here, the same here with the Bingsjö people. Bingsjö nyckelharpa has been, many nyckelharp players like to go to Bingsjö, and I have been there so many times, also with my children. And now we come to a chapter describing how the institute came. And this is from what activities from the institute. And a little bit about the National Action Plan for folk instruments. And this is also about building of how did nyckelharpa makers courses started in Sweden. It's described here. And then he moved to
Österbybruk and then to the institute, Kloster Institute in Tobo. And today that is more or less only Tobo that have courses in making. So if someone of you want to learn to make a nyckelharpa, you should attend to one of our courses in making or seminars. We have seminars coming up. And this is from the institute. And then there are a chapter about Nordic instrument seminars. What have they meant to the nyckelharpa? It's from more or less from Norway, Finland, and Sweden. And then it's chapter about how the nyckelharpa has been spread. We have many nyckelharpas in Japan, many in United States. But first it started to spread in Norway and Finland. And then down in Europe and also away to United States. Here is in Minneapolis. It's, what is it? What age is it? 2003 in Minneapolis. Bart Brushers sitting there with his children in Österbybruk. He did a great job to promote the nyckelharpa in US. Maybe the best, the most of all. Then we have some makers. We have Earl Holtzman and Paul Allman. And then in Japan, we have Michiko Honda. We have Lyrica Maeda. And then in Australia, stolen nyckelharpa to Australia to a couple of musicians. And then I have a chapter of saying people who meant very much for the nyckelharpa making. So that they are more or less only makers. I don't have a chapter of players. I'm thinking about in the next book have a chapter of players also. And this is a literature. And now comes the blue chapter. The blue chapter is more or less, I call it knowledge areas. You can say the knowledge of wood, knowledge of acoustics, knowledge of stress and strain theories, and so on. Here is a chapter of acoustics on the bowed instrument. This is how guitar can be depicted in the laser. And then how shall a nyckelharpa sound? Who decided how it should sound? Is it the maker? Is it the player? Is it the audience? And this is a quite big chapter about the knowledge of acoustic wood, acoustic instrument wood knowledge. So it's a lot of knowledge written down here. How to take down the trees, how to treat them, how to age them, how to cut them, what part of the tree is the best, and so on. And then this is a stress and strain theory. Because myself, I am an engineer, I have to have this chapter. I have written it so basically, so anybody who read it can understand how the forces are attacking the instrument and what can be done to prevent crackings and breakings. And of course, aesthetics is also something. Why did this is 1750? It's such a nice shape. What is it that make this instrument so nice? So I discuss the aesthetics. I look at the nature. The color is taken from the nature and so on. Oh, I compared to old cars, Rolls Royce and whatever. My father's old Volvo, very nice, aesthetically very nice car. And then I have a little bit of violin making, contranuclear making, and then I have a chapter telling what I done myself after Hasse Gille and after Erik Sahlström. You see here is an instrument I made for Olof Johansson. When he turned 50, he got this, and Erik Rydvall. They are the two most important people for my own making. And here is what you have seen already when I was on two different machines. And this is from my workshop, and I started show semi-finished pieces. All instruments, little harp for children. I have really been thinking about how to make children-sized instrument. Here I'm sitting with two of my oldest children. They are 51 and 49 today. And my younger boy, two boys. This is Esbjörn. Today he is 20. He played violin, fiddle, and all other kind of instruments. This is our younger son, Torbjörn. He's left-handed. First, I made a right-handed instrument, but I had to immediately to make a new to left-handed. And here it is in scale. And here is some course they had in the institute, in the staircase. And then I had something, I should say, if there would be a discussion about AI, computer made instruments, I used to say then the computer will never take the job away from the skilled handicraft people, never. Acoustic trimmings, creativity. To play, I have a chapter about how to play. And you can see here we have two brothers, Ahlström and Viksta Lasse. I found this picture on an old magazine. and this is how to hold the instrument. Esbjörn, our son. I show the difference between bowing a violin and nuclear, and a little bit about fingering techniques. And then comes the red part, which is the main topic of this book is how to make practical nuclear making. It says here in the first chapter, Introduction to Practical Nuclear Making, Sound, Function, Aesthetics, and Tradition. Bring that together, you get a good instrument. Learn from the wood makers. And learn also from what didn't work so well. So you can see this tailpiece was broken because of this and this. And this is what machines can be suitable if you want to talk. You must have a workbench, you must have a bench, and so on here. Sometimes I put into very nice pictures in the nature. Electric machines, hand tools, and so on. I very often talk about preventing to defend your ears. So here is good ear defenders. And how to choose wood for nickel making, so not to cut it. And then comes the big main chapter in this raid part is how to make a 3-row chromatic nyckelharpa. I always call it model Erik Sahlström because he put the standard for the key box, the number of keys and the tunings and so on. So this is step by step, and I have a special table of content for this chapter. It's step by step describing how to do a good instrument. And here is dimensions that you can use. You can always change and try some bigger or smaller size or whatever. But this has been my standard maybe 15 years now. So I just do minor modifications. I start to make the body, and it comes the tops. Here is gluing the top. The pictures here, and then how to engrave some ornaments. And I have other people's ornamentations, Erik Sahlström, Cecilis, and others. And then I have a drawing here in scale 1:1, which can be copied. And if you want to make a smaller nyckelharpa, you just put the copy machine on, for instance, 0.9, you get 360 instead of 400. And so on. Children-sized instrument to use 340. And this is detailed how to lay out manufacturing of the keys to get them nice and harmonically designed and so on. And the tailpiece and the stainings. And here is how to drill for the tangents. And this is an exact where should the hole be drilled and so on. The stem manufacturing the bridge. When it comes to tunings and strings. And then at the end of this chapter is a number of depicted instruments. This is an instrument made by August Bolin, and they have the same length. It's taking with the telelens quite a long distance with white background. So you can measure every part here, and you know that the length of the string is 400, then you can, with the relative easily calculate any other dimension. Here comes Erik Sahlström, 1944, 1983. Sture Sahlström, he has a little bit different shape of the instrument. And then comes Hasse Gille, this is 88, slanted sides and fold press sides. This is one of my instruments owned by my son Esbjörn today. This is more details of that instrument. This is Bo Nilsson, Bertil Hagge, Bosse Karlsson,
Esbjörn.
Och
Esbjörn.
Dan Eriksson is really having a nice design on everything.
Esbjörn.
Ja.
I think it is nästan dags. It's nearly time for the American Nyckelharpa Association. So I thought I would just...
Thank you. I have said what I wanted to, so no problem. I can say that if someone wants to buy this book, they can get the email address from you.
Yes, I will send that out. But I'm going to spotlight myself, so we have both of us. There we go. I just want to say thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
It's been amazing.
I hope people didn't fall asleep.
I hope so. No, definitely they wouldn't have done. It was so much to see.
I think I need to go to sleep myself. So
But thank you so
okay,
much.
thank you. Thank you
And
very
thank you
much
for
for
earlier.
having me.
Thank you for earlier at
It will be
ESI
fun
as
to
well.
go and look at the. Will it be on a YouTube video or something?
Yes, I'll
Good.
send you the link.
Oh,
In fact, I
It's
will.
marvelous. Thank you very much.
No, thank
Have
you.
a nice evening.